All right, this is PCC pitching coach Nico Calderaro. Nico's 28. He's about to turn 29. Nico, you went to Bonita. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2009 from Bonita.
And what positions did you play there?
I pitched, played a little bit of first base, but mainly pitched.
Okay, and then where'd you go to college?
I went to Mount Sac, and then I transferred to APU.
Okay. So now you're coaching with Pat McGee over at PCC. How long have you been there?
This will be, this fall will be our 7th year together.
Okay. So you started there when you were about 22?
It was about May when I was 21, and I was turning 22 that summer.
Okay. So what are your duties at PCC?
My duties are...
Because Pat says a lot that you do a hell of a job, like not only the pitching, but also recruiting.
Right, so it's mainly recruiting, pitching, but we do everything together.
Okay.
There's no, if Coach McGee has something to say to the pitchers, or if I have something to say to the hitters or the defense, we work well together. So there's no ego involved in terms of.
No, but I mean, he's actually giving you credit for kind of being the lead on recruits in terms of getting a conversation started.
Right, and I think that's the most important thing is for the assistant coaches to go out and find the kids, and then it's the head coaches to
close it. Yeah, okay. So can you talk about your season started, and how many weeks did you get, or how many games did you get in?
We got about 21 games in, and then for the 22nd game, we were at the field. It was rained out, and then COVID shut us down a couple days later.
Okay, so can you talk about how you came up with this idea about the Legends Indoor Baseball League?
Yeah, so the indoor league was something an idea that I had for kids who either had to work all summer or kids who have to take summer school classes. Essentially kids who aren't able to dedicate 6 days a week to playing in a league.
And for the most part, it was designed for college players and seniors who had just missed most of their...
Right, it was designed for college players and 2020 seniors, or quote-unquote.
But you bent the rules a little bit.
Right, and we have some elite juniors in there who are D1 commits and things like that, but it's been great. The kids have been getting all the exposure.
Can you kind of talk about, though, like the origin, like how did you come up with this idea, and what originally did it turn out to be, when I talk about, I don't mean numbers yet, but did it turn out to be as, everything you wanted it to be?
That and more. Originally we were shooting for 30 to 50 kids roughly, and it ended up being over 140.
But can you kind of go into detail about what it offered both the pitchers and the hitters?
Right, so pitchers got an opportunity to come in and throw to live hitters once a week. We're running Monday through Thursday, so we have a set of, we had a set of pitchers Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Wednesday obviously, and then hitters, same thing. We've been moving the hitters around so they're able to see different pitching. Mainly the idea was for a hitter to come in, get 8 to 12 at-bats per night, just depending on how many strikes are thrown, etc. And the idea was for pitchers to come in, use the technology that we have, get better, work on something. It's really the only scenario where a pitcher could come in, compete against live competition, and also work on something, because there's really no result. Whether you give up a home run or you strike the guy out, there's no scoreboard. So it's just really an opportunity for guys to come in and work on things, or keep working on what they've been doing the whole time.
Well, not only that, but they get, analytic type readouts. Can you talk, in terms of just the pitchers, can you talk about like limits you held them to, and number two, the technology that they were able to get from this?
Right. So each kid roughly, they're on a pitch count. We made sure each kid talked to their coach. We found out which, what type of program, how many innings, how many pitches per inning type of thing they wanted their guys to go. And it's a great situation, because it's not like we're using a guy too long, or we're leaving a guy out for 120 pitches.
Yeah.
It's literally, you throw one inning, it's 15 pitches. If you throw more than one, we make sure that no one's throwing over 40, 50.
Every pitch is videotaped.
Every pitch is videotaped by one of my good friends, Bobby DeMuro.
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job with the video. He's chopped up over 350 hours of videotape throughout the league so far.
And what else do the pitchers get? They get some kind of readout about
Rapsodo reading.
Which means what?
Rapsodo is a camera which reads spin rate, miles per hour, obviously, horizontal break, vertical break,
okay,
true spin velocity, effective spin. So it just gives you so much information on each pitch So each kid, after each night, gets a report. They know how to go into their account, look that up. They've been sending them to their coaches. We've had multiple guys sending them to MLB scouts. So it's just been a great opportunity.
So we've heard from, I've actually interviewed five athletes and talked to others, and every single one of them absolutely says they would suggest it to, upcoming, tournaments or leagues that you run. You talked last week about possibly doing this at another time, and so for people reading this, people hearing this, when would be the next time you guys might be offering this?
Well, we're monitoring the fall situation. The main thing is we want kids an opportunity to get better. This game, it's really not just a game. These kids they use baseball as a mechanism to create a better life. And with everything that's going on, if they just completely shut it down, they ruin the window that they have to create and carve out their space in their life. And baseball was so good to me, and I got hurt, and it's still been so good to me. And everyone that I've met and I've known, it's just been a privilege for me. And I want these kids to go through that same thing, get their school paid for through baseball. A lot of kids, the opportunities through baseball they're rigorous. So we're just trying to keep that alive for them, so there's no shutdown. A lot of leagues were shut down. So we just want to provide the opportunity for the kids to get better.
It's also, as mundane as it sounds, it's also something for the kids to do. Not only is it productive, but to keep their mind positive on something. Right. So when might be the next one? Possibly.
We're monitoring the fall again with COVID and the gym shut down. With the gyms shut down, we obviously had to make some adjustments. Mm-hmm. But hopefully we could start something up in September.
Okay.
Again, we're just monitoring the fall. This is basically if coaches can't see their kids in the fall.
Yeah.
We want to, again, provide a platform for them to just keep getting better.
Well, not only that, but based on what CIF sent out a week ago Monday, they don't think baseball will start until middle of March.
Right.
So the kids are going to need something to do to be ready, and if they can't get out to their own fields, this is something that can be beneficial and productive. And so I know some other people have taken the idea and kind of run up the price. How competitive or how fair do you think your price is for the kids?
I think it's really fair. It was really something that we didn't want to price the kids out.
Yeah.
And especially during a pandemic.
When people are fighting to pay their bills.
People are struggling as much as we can. Obviously, we would love for every kid to come in for free and do it that way, but we have to keep the lights on and things like that. And before we started, the gym was closed for about 8 weeks, so again, we're just trying to make up some of the stuff that they either lost or just really trying to keep maintaining as we've been going.
So can you talk about kind of how you think the Legends Baseball Academy is a good fit for this?
Legends has been great because first and foremost, Al Quintana has been he's welcomed me with open arms. He welcomed the idea. He took the pitch, thought it was a great idea, and it's really taken off from there.
What surprised you most about this? Do you feel like the kids are appreciative?
The kids are extremely appreciative. It means the world to me to be able to give them that type of platform. But in terms of they're getting better. Mm-hmm. That's what we've noticed, and that's the most important thing. From the first 2 weeks, the hitters were extremely behind. Now they're starting to get some barrels. The pitcher's velocity is going up. They're going more, they want more innings, more pitches per se, and their pitches are getting better, more strikes. So it's just been great to see, not only to give them the opportunity, but to also see them getting better.
But for a guy like you who's used to 5 or 6 days a week being around young players, helping them, whether it's pitching or otherwise, how did this kind of fill that gap for you?
So that whole time where after the season ended, we went months without the game and without seeing our players.
All the anxiety and everything.
It's extremely tough. I also teach classes, and the classes going online, it just left a void, for sure. And I knew if I had a void, I loved competing and playing. I loved coaching. I couldn't imagine how the players feel, and especially the kids who had the opportunities robbed from them. Like I said, kids who their season was cut short. Now kids have to start working, or it's the JUCO kid who now has to figure something else out, or there's just a lot of stuff going on.
So last question, what would you want, like, for example, let's say you have a September or October league, what would you want a parent who sees this story and, can send their kid to this, what would you most want them to know this is what your son will get out of this?
I want them to know first and foremost that, they'll get the high quality video, which we've gotten the most feedback on is because it just helps the pitchers, hitters realize what they're doing, and every single pitch is videotaped. So like I said, we have over...
And swing,
of course. So we have 4 cameras set up in each cage. So like I said, each week's about 20 hours, so 80 hours of video per week that we're breaking down. We have a Google sheet that's constantly being updated so that every player has 5 or 6 videos on it. And then once the conclusion of the league comes, we'll combine all those videos so that each player will have, a full league.
Well, not only the experience, but a chance to say, hey, here's what I'm doing really well at. Here's something I can get better at.
Right, and there's been we've had pro scouts out. There's because they can't obviously go to games, so there's they've had the opportunity to come in and watch 4 or 5 of the guys who are very elite in our league. Who we're extremely thankful that they put their trust into us to come in and throw for us. When you have that much talent, if you pick and choose who you do it.
And for me for us as 2 former athletes, regardless of what sport you're playing, we all know you do not get better unless you challenge yourself.
Exactly.
And you guys do not have scrubs in this league.
Right.
Can you just briefly talk about like the skill level on both as pitchers and hitters?
Yeah. So I mean, I think we have over 50 pitchers who are over 88 miles an hour.
Okay.
Which at the college level is extremely ideal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have probably 10 to 12 guys who are in the 90s, and then a group of guys who are working their way up to that. So there's about 70 pitchers total in the league, and most of them, I want to say totally we have over 400 college wins in terms of the whole league combined. So, I mean, tons of experience. Guys are learning stuff from each other. I see them talking about grips and, what they did wrong or what they were doing before. So it's good to see the camaraderie. It's also good to see kids from different schools meeting each other, making friends, or seeing people that they haven't seen in years.
And who knows, maybe after this is done, 2 pitchers, for example, Zach Jacobs and Justin Gutierrez live close to the same area. Who's to say they can't go out and meet at a park and throw when they never met each other? Hey, so I'm sorry, last thing, I forgot to mention this, which is as important as anything you've talked about, is with the pandemic, how far did you guys go out of your way? What steps did you make to make sure these kids were safe?
Okay, so the first thing we do, obviously, first and foremost, is we're taking temperatures.
Right when they walk in the door.
Right when they walk in the door, we have the infrared temperature thermometers. I know, obviously, that's not the end-all, be-all, but we're making sure any kid over a certain temperature is being sent home. Fortunately, we have not had to send a kid home. Every kid who, has said they're maybe feeling sick or whatever has been told multiple times to stay home. Obviously, we have hand sanitizer all over the building. After every outing, in terms of the pitcher, we're wiping the balls down. We're making sure that each pitcher that comes in is sanitized. No kids are sharing helmets. There's no eating. So we've really tried to do our best. Obviously, we can't say we've eliminated it completely, but we're doing the best that we can with the circumstances.
And what would you want to tell the kids who did come in, shot in the dark and trusted your league and trusted Al's league? What would you most want to tell them about?
I mean, we're extremely grateful that you guys came in and trusted us with your abilities. Like I said, this wasn't really a league where we were going to come in and start trying to change everybody's mechanics or their swing or whatever. If kids, asked us for help, of course we're going to offer our opinions, but it was just more giving them the platform to be successful, keep playing, and just constantly keep working.
The numbers were amazing.
Yeah, the numbers are I can't believe the turnout ended up the way it was, and I'm just so fortunate that it worked out. Again, thankful to Legends, to Al, Bobby, everybody a part of it.
And the parents for trusting you.
Parents, coaches for trusting us. It's one thing for parents, but it's a whole other thing for another college
Especially
coach.
college coaches, yeah.
Exactly. Another college coach to entrust their players with me and our staff.
Okay.
It's been nothing